and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to, well, my living room. Unfortunately, the UK has been battered by Storm Garrett, so I've not been able to get out to the Lake District. We've also had Christmas and New Year. We're now into 2024, so I hope you all had a good Christmas. I hope Santa Claus bought you lots of hiking goodies and camping goodies for you to try out in 2024. All the best for the new year. I hope it's a good one for everyone. So because I can't get out, I thought why not do a loadout video. Off my other videos I've had a few questions about what the sleeping bag is, what the mat is, what the tent is, etc, etc. So I just thought I'll do a loadout video. It's not a review video. I don't expect people to go out and buy anything that's in here off my say. It's stuff that I've built up over the years. You may be thinking of getting into winter camping because it's obviously a lot different from summer camping. I'm not sponsored by any of the brands in here, although if Montane want to drop me an email, I'll take that one. Everything's been bought and paid for by myself. Like I say, it's not a review video, so if there's anything in here that you like the look of, my advice would be do your own research. There's lots and lots of YouTube videos on most of the stuff that's in here, and decide basically if it's for you. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. So the pack that I use in winter is the Osprey Atmos, and this is the 50 litre. I think the women's version is the Azora, I think it's called, but obviously this is the men's version. I've had it a few years now. I think this colour is discontinued. I think it's a different colour scheme now. So I think this one is definitely discontinued. But it's been a great pack. It's not the lightest. It's just under 2 kilos, and that's before you put anything in it. So it is a fairly heavy pack, but it does carry the weight really, really well. It's never given me any problems. It's really well made. It's typical Osprey. Everything is quality on it. You know, they are a good pack. Nice big thick shoulder straps. It's never dug into me once, no matter how much weight I put in it. It sits really well on my shoulders. It's got the typical trampoline sort of air suspension bit, so you don't get the sweaty back. The waist bits seem to be sprung loaded, so when you put it on, you kind of have to open them up, and then it kind of hugs around you. But it has been a good pack, and it does get loaded up, as you can see. So right, we'll get into it. I'll show you what I generally take. I'll take these out first so I don't stab myself in the face with them. These are my hiking poles, obviously, and I do use these all year round, not just in winter. Hiking poles aren't for old people, by the way. They do take the weight off your knees and your hips, and they steady you across rivers. They've got lots of other uses. I've had these about 4 years now, and apart from scratches, they're still going strong. Original carbide tips, I've never replaced them. Everything's original on them. They just work. I don't know if you can see the name on them. These are actually the Lecky Macaloo. If you go on the Lecky website and you put in what you're going to be doing, i.e. camping, hiking, whatever sport you need hiking poles or trekking poles for, if you put in your size, your weight, the website will work out what they recommend, and these are recommended for mountain use, carrying a lot of weight. So yeah, they have been good poles. I did buy some cheaper ones when I first got into it years ago, and they lasted months before the clamps broke. So I just went out and bought some Lecky ones. They weren't cheap, but as you can see, 4 years down the line they're still going. So put them there. In the top of the pack, I always load the pack the same way, so everything fits in the way I want it to go in, so I know where everything is if I need to get it out. Waterproof jacket in the top for obvious reasons. There's a little key thing there as well to put your car key on, but I never use it, to be honest. My waterproof jacket for winter, and I'll wear this in spring and autumn. It's the mountain equipment. Solitaro, I think it's called, Solitaro. It's mountain equipment's packable waterproof jacket. It's got the side vents and everything on it. I've had it for 2 years, I think now. I replaced my old one, and it's been a good jacket, to be fair. It's not leaked. I've washed it a couple of times. It seems to come out of the washing machine okay. I reproofed it. So in the top, glasses, which are just in a little case, just standard reading glasses. I always put them in the top there, so I can get some quite easily if I need to see for reading or anything. Towel, obvious jobs you can do with it, wiping things down, maybe wipe the tent down in the morning, etc, etc. Go there. Gloves, I always take 2 pairs in winter, sometimes 3. These are Extremities. I think they're discontinued now. I think they're called the Sticky Icky gloves. I could be wrong, but they're called, yeah, I'm pretty certain they're called Sticky something. They're waterproof, and they've got this like sticky sort of pattern on the palm. They're absolutely brilliant for taking the tent down in the morning. Because they're quite a close fit, you get good dexterity with them. So for taking the tent down if it's cold, just to keep your hands warm, and then again in summer, I'll take these with me in summer because you get the odd chilly morning. So I'll wear them around camp, sort of thing as well. These are my other gloves that I take with me. These are the Montane Icebreaker, I think they're called. Again, I've had these for a couple of years. These have been brilliant, they really have. They're great with the poles, they're good for scrambling, they've got leather palmed and leather palm tips. They're waterproof, Gore-Tex lined, and they're also insulated as well. So in winter you will see me wearing these quite a lot. And they've also got the little carabiner hook on them, so you can hang them off your rucksack. But yeah, I do actually recommend them gloves, they are really good pair of gloves. Waterproof trousers, these are the Berghaus Pack Light waterproof trousers, fairly common, most people tend to use them. Full length zips all the way from top to bottom, so if you do want to vent them you can undo the zip at the top and vent the trousers a little bit. But yeah, they've been fairly reliable. Again, I've probably had them about 4 years. And then this is it's sort of my first aid and other bits and bobs all together. Deuce of spades, we all know what that's for. Little pocket penknife. I don't need anything else. I don't need a big knife. I'm not whittling wood, I'm not making wooden tent stakes or anything. Yeah, I hardly ever use it. I probably use the toothpick more than anything that's in the top. But it's just a basic little mini Swiss army knife. I mean, that's the blade on it. So it's got scissors on the other side. I probably use the scissors as well for opening packets and that type of thing. Put that there. Whistle, if you get into trouble. And then in here is a first aid kit, which I'll show you in a minute. And also in here is a survival bivvy. One of the thermal ones. You never know, you might need to get yourself in it, or you might come across somebody else. You never know, you might come across someone who's fallen. I actually fell on my last video, which if you saw my last video, so I could have ended up in it myself. And then my first aid kit is just your random sort of first aid kit stuff with a few extras in there. Spare Sawyer bottle top, because I did actually drop one and it went down in between a load of rocks and I couldn't find it. So I always carry one of them with me now. Never needed it since then, but you won't use these in winter, but you never know. Tick tweezers, spare lighter, just random plasters, ibuprofen, paracetamol, that type of stuff. Insect bite. I mean, in winter I won't need this, but I do carry this in summer as well. This is probably one of the things that I carry all year round that doesn't change. Latex gloves, just random bits and pieces. You can buy first aid kits fairly cheaply and then just add bits in. The bag, by the way, is Hilleberg Gear. I'll put a link to his website in the description, because he is a good bloke, Paul, and his stuff's top notch. Put that there. So that's the top bit. And we'll do the front. A couple of carabiners, just your cheap basic Alpkit ones. They're not going to support anybody's weight, but they're good for hanging stuff off, as in the rain cover or your hat or gloves or whatever. This is the optional rain cover. This is the large. You do get one with it, with the rucksack, but it doesn't, it kind of just elasticates around the rucksack. So if you get a really strong gust of wind, they come off. Whereas these have got like little buckles on them, so you can actually clip it through the rucksack, and it's got elastic that goes around the waist, so you can around the waist belts, so it's on and it's quite secure. That was extra. You've got to buy that extra. Water bottle, just your bog standard 500ml Nalgene bottle. And then this side, I actually clip my tent poles on, so I have a little tiny carabiner here, because I'd hate to get to camp and your trekking poles, your hiking poles are not there. So I always clip them on to the little top. So that's my hiking poles. I always put them inside. These are off my Hilleberg Solo. Put that in there. And then we'll do the pockets. To go in my water bottle, these are high five. They're basically just water tablets. They flavour the water, and they're just electrolyte tablets to replace salts and stuff. You can buy various different ones, but I always stick to the high five ones. Hand sanitizer, if you've got your hands in water and stuff. Keep your hands clean. And then my water filter, again, tread light bag. Soya squeeze. I bought this at the beginning of 2023, so I've had this roughly a year. I did persevere with the Soya Mini for about 4 years, and every winter I kept saying I'm going to buy a new one, but the different ones come out each year, and I kept looking at reviews, and then you get into like the better weather, and I thought I'll do another year with it. But last year I actually bit the bullet and bought myself a new water filter, and it's night and day difference between the Soya Mini and this Soya Squeeze. The water flow on it is just brilliant. Yeah, you could buy that. That just lives in there. They do tend to leak. I did buy a little screw cap off eBay with a rubber O-ring on it, because the water does tend to run back out once you've filtered it. It still does drip a little bit, which is why I keep it in this little bag. And then that will go in the dry bag and into my sleeping bag during the night, so it doesn't freeze up, because if they freeze up they expand and they crack inside, and you just throw them away then because they're no good. So that's in there. Lip balm. Tends to get dry lips in winter, especially when it's cold and the wind's blowing at you. So here's that take the wind balm. Kestrel wind meter. there's quite a lot of, well, BS on YouTube about wind speed, people camping in 100-mile-an-hour winds, and they've got like a £2 Chinese wind meter that they say that they're testing the wind with. So this is a proper Kestrel one. They're not cheap, but if you're looking to go out and the forecast says it's 30-mile-an-hour winds, until you've tested it, how do you know what 30-mile-an-hour winds are like? And I guarantee if you do go out and it's windy, whatever wind speed you think it is, I guarantee it'll be a lot less than what it actually is. So with a wind meter, I know what 30-mile-an-hour wind's like. I know what 50-mile-an-hour is like, and at 50-mile-an-hour you're struggling to stand up. So it also does temperature gauge and wind chill. So if you take one of these with you, they are a bit of an investment because, like I say, they're not cheap. But you know what you're going into off the weather forecasts. If it says it's 60-mile-an-hour winds, you know that I'm not going to go out in that because you know what that's going to be like. So yeah, they are a good investment, and I do tend to use this. You can stand up and think it must be 20 mile an hour, and you test it with the gauge and it's probably like 15, if that. So whatever you think the wind speed is going to be, it's actually a lot less than it usually is. And sunglasses. Even in winter time I always take just some sunglasses. If it's snowing or hailing and I've not got my ski goggles, you put your sunglasses on. And if it is sunny and it's snowing, it's not going to reflect into your face. So on the back, most people put the tents here or sleep mats. I've just got my Z-Lite sit pad, matching colour scheme to my tent, or tents. So I just keep that there. I never like putting stuff on the bottom of the rucksack. Certainly won't put my tent there, because when you're coming down scrambly bits and the amount of times the rucksack catches on rocks and stuff, I just wouldn't do it. Right, then in the top, mini spikes for if it's icy. These are just cheap Amazon ones. I've had them a couple of years. They serve a purpose. Every time I seem to use them, a link falls off or something. I have to bend something back. They're not great. I keep meaning to buy some better Catula ones or Grivel, but then we get into the better weather and never need them. So, but yeah, they're just cheap Amazon. I think they were like 15, 20 quid. So they're no good in the snow though. If it's snowing, they just ball up underneath. So they only seem to work if it's like icy, which is what they're designed for. To go in a water filter, the pouches, these are 1 litre. I tend to take a couple with me. I roughly need about 2 litres of water when I get to camp, and these are 1 litre pouches. So I generally just take 2 of them. And then a spare cap, which is what you saw in the first aid kit. Elastic bands, a million uses. And then pegs. In winter, because the ground could be frozen, I tend to use MSR groundhogs. I think they're a brilliant peg. The 2 Hilleberg black label tents that I've got come with a very similar peg, like a Y peg, but they're shorter. And in the Lake District, sometimes the grass can be quite tuffety, so you need quite a longer peg. In summer I'll use Easterns, which are a 9-inch Eastern peg, but if the ground's frozen, the Easterns don't like being bashed in. Whereas these, they're just ready available. I think they're like 20 quid for 6. I've never bent one, broke one. I have lost one, although actually I didn't lose it, somebody else lost it for me. So these will be on the tent and the guys, and then actually in the where the poles come over, or on the edges of the tent, so not on the guys or anything, I will use 6-inch Easterns, because even if the ground's frozen, you do find that you can get these still in. If not, I will take more MSR, pegs with me if the weather forecast has been like frozen for quite a few days. So we'll take them in. And they just live in the little bag. Right, that's everything. Let's get inside. So this is normally in a dry bag, but I've just put it in here for demonstration purposes. This is actually my black label Solo, which was my winter tent, but I've recently, well a few months ago now, purchased the Hilleberg Tent, which is a 2-man tent, and I am loving the extra space in that tent. It's really cool. I'll still use my Solo, but it's, yeah, I haven't used it for a few months, so I might use it on the next video. I think if the weather's going to be like on the limit of me going out, but you know, wind wise, I'll probably take the Solo. If the weather's looking a bit better, I'll take the Thermarest, and then in summer I use my Acto, which is a bit lighter. Food pouch. Again, this is tread light, so in here I just take random. I'm sure we've all got different stuff that we'd say. I tend to stick to the dried meals, so in here I'll just have various sort of snacks, brioche, cup of soup, because you generally in your tent at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when it's gone dark, so I'll take like a cup of soup and have that before I have sort of the main meal. I mean, I've just chucked a meal in here, which is a something sweet meal. Spicy pasta, arrabbiata, which is a good one for winter because it is quite a hot, spicy one. That, so it just tends to warm you up. And then this is my heat pouch. I got it off a company in the UK. I can't think of her name right now. And basically, you put your dried meal in, you put your hot water in, and then you fold it over, and then you clip it shut. And it's an insulated pouch, so it keeps the meal warm while it rehydrates. I have in the past made like silver foil things out of like mats, you know, the cheap Chinese sort of mats that you can buy. But I got this, I think I got it last winter, and it works. It keeps it all warm. Quinton Craft, the name's just come to me. Lucy Quinton, she's called. Again, I'll put a link to her website. And then at night, I normally put my battery packs in it, and then that'll go in my sleeping bag as well, so it'll keep them warm. But yeah, and it's also got a bottom on it, so your meal stands up rather than falling over. So yeah, it's brilliant. That really does work. And then tea, coffee, hot chocolate, usual sort of thing. And then a Tokes spoon. I used to have a spork, but then when you're getting your food out of the pouch, it tends to leave lines of food up the side of the bag, and I've never actually needed anything that I need to sort of stab a fork into. So I did away with it a few years ago, and I just use a spoon, long handled spoon. But everyone seems to, you need a spork, but I just need a spoon. So that's that. And then my stove for winter, for the past 2 winters anyway, has been, it's been the MSR Windburner. It is a great stove. It is very good at what it does, which is boil water fast, even if it's windy. The bag, by the way, it doesn't come with it. It's just an Alpkit I think it's an Alpkit brew kit mesh bag that you can buy from Alpkit for a couple of quid. So it just keeps everything together. Sea to Summit cup. I'm sure we've all got one or seen one. But the stove, there's two cons with it. One is it's heavy. Without the gas canister it's 430 grams. So when you've got 200ml gas canister in there, 200ml with 100mg of gas in there, it's heavy. It's 630ish grams. So it's not the lightest. Plastic cup I never use. I just leave it on to protect the bottom, and it also comes in handy for chucking all the bits in. So there's no piezo on it, so you need a lighter. The canister stand, which also doubles. It's got a thermal cut off in the burner, so if it gets too hot it cuts off, and the stand's got like a little lug in it that you can put in and reset it. It's never happened to me, but I have heard of people where it's cut out on them and they've had to reset it. So I always take that with me. And then you got your gas canister fits in the bottom as well, which is a 100 gram one. But boil time, it'll boil water no matter what the weather is, how windy it is. It'll boil water within a minute or two. It's really good. The lid's really good. The lid doesn't fall off when you're pouring water out of it. It stays on. But like I say, the only thing is with it, it's heavy, and my other sort of gripe, well not gripe, but something I'm cautious of about is because it's not a flame, it's a radiant heat. So this top bit it's like glowing red, and it gets really hot, and the bottom of the pot gets really hot as well. So if you're in your tent, you can't obviously put that on the floor of your tent, and if you get it anywhere near your sleeping bag or the sides of the tent, you've got to be really careful with it, and it stays hot for quite a while, a good sort of 20 minutes or more before it starts to cool down. So it's kind of like an accident waiting to happen, you know. Whereas with a titanium pot, it's cool within minutes. But it is a good stove. It is really good. So I'll keep on using it. There's nothing else out on the market that I fancy, so I will keep on using it. So this is sort of electronics, if you will. Goodman's radio, just your standard little pocket type radio. Obviously you are in your tent for a long time, so it's cool to put the radio on. If I'm in the Northern Lakes, I tend to get Radio Scotland. If I'm in the Southern Lakes, I tend to get Radio Wales. So I do tend to go to the Northern Lakes more. Flex tail pump, brilliant in winter for pumping your mat up. I don't tend to take it in summer. I'll use the inflation bag on a different mat that I've got. I'm sure you've all seen these, the light and the pump, so that always comes with me. I found that the batteries in this seem to be better in winter. In the past I have took like a torch that you hang up with AAA or AA batteries in, and after a few hours, especially if it's in the minus conditions, the cold just kills the batteries and the torch dims, whereas these, it doesn't seem to affect them as much, and you can charge it up if you wanted to whilst you're out. This is another electronic bag, again tread light, and got my head torch which is the Petzl Actic Core 450. So it's actually got the rechargeable battery inside. I don't know if you can see that. It's 450 lumens, hence the name. I don't really use it on that setting because it's far too bright, so I usually just use it on the medium setting. And then it's got like the red light on it, and then it's got like a strobe flashing thing and other various bits and bobs. And it's really lightweight. I think it only weighs about 70 grams, 73 grams, something like that. And then in here, now I'm going to swap this out because I'm now filming. I need more battery power. So this is it's an Anker 5000 milliamp battery pack, which is good for phone and to charge my watch. But to charge batteries up for the camera, it just kills it. So I am going to be looking at getting a new one. I'll probably stick with Anker because I've had this a couple of years and it's fine, and I've got other Anker battery packs. But I need probably at least 10,000 milliamp, maybe even 20,000 milliamp. And then just small charge cables, so that one's for my phone. And then there's another one in here for the watch, so I can plug my Garmin in. You just get these from AliExpress, they're not that dear. And then if I wanted to charge something with a USB, small USB on it, I can, USB-C I can do. I think that's a micro USB. So my head torch is a micro USB, so if I needed to I could charge that up. And then the one for my phone, which is a USB-C, will also fit the flex tail pump torch, torch thing. That's that. Like I say, it's took me years to build all this up. I certainly haven't just gone out and bought it all in one afternoon. It's kind of progressed from summer camping to spring, autumn, and then into full winter. I think you need to get the experience because winter camping it can be pretty harsh. The conditions that you go out in. I mean, it can be harsh in summer, but in the Lake District in winter, I certainly wouldn't want to start wild camping in winter due to cost, experience, and everything else. So this is my wash kit, which just consists of wet wipes, toothpaste, toothbrush. Something I always take, even in summer, which you might find strange, hand warmers. Again, you might come across someone in summer who's been sat there for hours and they're cold. So I always carry hand warmers with me. Or it might be yourself that's been stuck there for hours. Tissues. These are little leaves, little soapy leaves. The odd time you might put your hands in something or mud or whatever. So these are just little tiny leaves, little soapy things. You just wash your hands with them and they kind of evaporate. And then the little towels, which you get off Amazon. You put them in water and they kind of go to about this sort of size, like a little wash flan or something. Brilliant for cleaning your pots out, washing yourself, your face, mopping anything up. They are quite good, and they're dead cheap. You get them off Amazon or AliExpress, a couple of quid for like 50 or something. And then the all important earplugs, in case it's too windy at night and the tent's flapping around. Again, shred light bag. I have had a bit of stuff off Paul over the years. I don't know why, because I'm not an ultralight backpacker, but it just organises it all, doesn't it? Keeps everything in its place. The bags, by the way, the dry bags are all Alpkit, obviously. They do like a lightweight range. I bought them all as a set a few years ago. I think these could be discontinued now, I'm not too sure. So my down jacket that I wear in winter, that you'll see me in, is the Montane Alpine 850 light, it's called, and it is light. It's 300 grams, it's 850 fill, hence the name, fill power, and it's got 140 grams of down in it, and it's been brilliant. I bought this summer. They've discontinued it in this colour. I think they do another one called the antifreeze, and I think you can get the antifreeze in this colour. But the new colours for this one, I think they've put more down in it this winter, and it's like a lime yellowy colour, and then black. So this was discontinued, so I got this at quite a good price this summer, and it's incredibly light. It really is, but it's really warm. It was either this one or the Rab Mythic, but the Rab Mythic is, I think it's like I think they call it a slim cut or something. It just didn't fit me, but the Montane one did, and this was a better price as well. From the Climbers shop in Ambleside, which I can recommend them guys who know the stuff. This is what I wear for bed. When I get to camp, I know some people sleep in what they're hiking. I don't like to do that. I like to change out of what I've been hiking in, have a bit of a wash with the wet wipes as best I can, and then get into some clean base layers, which I'll show you in a minute. And I just think you sleep better, you feel more comfortable, you feel warmer. It's kind of like a psychological thing. So I usually hike with a beanie on, but obviously your head sweats, so I don't want to wear that one for bed. So I take another beanie. This is just a Far Raven one, so I'll wear that for bed, keep my head warm. Rab hot socks, these are really good. You can't walk around in them. They've not got the proper rubber sole like the Montane ones, prison booties I think the Montane one's called. These have just got like a material sort of bottom on them. So if you was in a bigger tent you could probably walk around, but you wouldn't want to be walking around outside in them. They're actually synthetic, they're not down, but they are really warm. I usually end up kicking them off halfway through the night because my feet get too warm. But yeah, they're really good. Either that or you can take some thick socks, keep your feet warm. These are my base layers that I sleep in, that you'll see me in. I got these from Nordic Outdoors in Scotland. Again, I can recommend them guys. They know the stuff up there. These are made by, I'm pretty certain these are definitely discontinued. They'll probably do them in a different colour, but I know that this colour. They're made by Aclima, and they're a merino wool, top and bottom, like a Scandinavian Sweden type brand. Got a few down feathers on actually. They're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I've had these a couple of years now, and yeah, I've never had a cold night wearing these and in my sleeping bag that I'm in. So I always change into them, and the matching leggings as well. You won't be able to wear them for hiking in, they'd just be way too warm, unless you was in somewhere like where it was minus 20, 30 degrees or something. The matching bottoms as well. They still do them, but I think they're like I think they're green, I think now, like instead of this blue and red. And then my sleep mat is the Thermarest Xthrem. This is the max wide version. This has been discontinued now, although it's got the wing valve on it. The new range that's out now is called the NXT. Yeah, NXT. I think this is 6.9 R rating, and I think the new one is 7.2. so it's even warmer than this. These are brilliant. They're dead popular, dead common. I've got a X-Lite that I use in summer, Xthrem obviously in winter, and with it being the wide version, it just gives you that bit extra comfort. It's not the lightest. I think it's about 630 grams from memory. But it is so comfy, so warm. The technology that's inside, it just works. It reflects the cold back down to the ground, and it reflects your body heat back up to you. So the longer you're on it, the warmer it kind of gets. It literally is like lying on, after about half an hour, it's like lying on a radiator that's on low. You can actually feel the warmth coming off it. And in winter, you need a decent mat, otherwise you can have an uncomfortable night. So that's everything in there. The rucksack, by the way, with everything in it, usually comes to about 16.5 kilos. So some people may find that a lot, some people may find it quite lightweight. Like I say, I'm not an ultralight backpacker. I take what I need for a comfortable night. I don't want to be sleeping on, the floor and having an uncomfortable night. I take a few luxuries, if you can call them luxuries. Just quickly show you. This is so I don't have to get out of the tent in the middle of the night. I'm sure you all use some form. It extends. Well, I don't need to show you that, but yeah, AliExpress. I know some people use a bottle or what have you. And then this is my sleeping bag. A few people have asked me what sleeping bag this is, because I did mention it in my last video, but I didn't tell you what it was actually, what it was called. That's my pillow, which I'll show you in a sec. Leave that there. This is on its third winter, and it is a good sleeping bag, really good. Again, Alpkit bag. I like to keep things matching. So it's an Alpkit bag, which is a UK company, obviously, if you're over here. So it's from Alpkit, and it's the Alpine Dream 1000. Just show you that. And it is a good winter bag, really good. It lofts up quite well, which it will start doing in a bit. It's got the baffles inside along the zip, which you can see along there, and then it's got the pocket for your phone or whatever you want to put near your chest. I usually put my phone in there, just keeps the phone warm in winter. I've never had a cold night in that. I've actually been too hot in it some nights. It's not the lightest, it's coming in at 1.6 kilos, but it's got 1,000 grams of goose down feathers in it. They do an 800, which is obviously lower, like 200 grams lighter. I wouldn't use it unless it's going to be minus. So if it's going to be 2 degrees, 1 degree, I'll take another sleeping bag, because it'll be too hot. So it's got to be into the minuses, -1 to, I think the lowest I've had it is about -8. Obviously that's not in the tent. Obviously in the tent, I think the coldest I've had it is about -4. And with that mat, with those base layers on in that sleeping bag, I am toasty warm. Which is why I end up kicking hot socks off, because my feet end up getting too hot. So pillow, we all kind of search for that pillow that is like the one at home, but we never seem to get it right. It's made by Nemo, which is an American company. You can see that, and it's the Nemo Philo pillow. It's about the best I could get to a pillow that you have at home. It's not the biggest, it's fairly light. I think it's about 60-70 grams. And that's your pillow. It's meant to replicate a proper pillow, and it's not so far off actually. It's not very big, but it just fits nicely into the head of the rucksack, into the head of the sleeping bag. It's kind of there in the morning, it's not disappeared or flicked out or anything like some do. I've tried ones where they've got straps that go around your sleep mat and they tend to just ping off. But this one seems to stay in place, and it just has a really nice soft feel. I think you need, when you go to sleep, you need a good night's sleep, because you've been hiking all day in the cold weather. You need to be warm and have a good night's sleep, and then you can carry on with your hiking, you know, in the next day. So my sleep system's kind of the important bit for me. So that's it. That is basically what I take with me for a winter wild camp. Hope that's give you some sort of thought. There's maybe some of the stuff you might purchase yourself, or you might already have, or you might have had some of this stuff and it's not worked for you. But yeah, this is basically what I use. The only thing I'm going to swap out is the battery pack, the Anchor one, because it works fine. It's only 5,000 milliamp, and before I started doing YouTube stuff with cameras and things, I can charge a couple of batteries off the camera and it's wiped this out. So I need to get myself a better one. So that'll be February's purchase. So I hope to be back out sort of mid-January. So hopefully I might have a video up mid-January or third week or something in January. I'm going to give myself 12 months on YouTube and see where it goes. This will only be my third video when this goes on. My channel's going to be about revisiting all the Wainwrights. So I've done all the Wainwrights in the Lake District. So my channel's going to be about revisiting a lot of the Wainwrights that I've already done. I've camped on probably 80 plus summits, and I have camped at quite a few times, even though I say I don't camp at times. I have camped at a few of them over the years. I used YouTube a lot when I was doing the Wainwrights. I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos of people hiking up and doing various summits that I was going to do, and I found the information was useful, from where you park your car, where you're going to get water from, what the summit's like when they're there, so you can see if you can pitch a tent there. So this is kind of my way of paying back a bit to YouTube, and helping others out really. If you're doing the Wainwrights, or you're thinking of doing the Wainwrights, or you just want to go for a day hike, or you just want to camp, you know, hopefully I can pass some information on. And the same way, you know, likewise, I'm always learning. We're all learning. You can't go to the Lake District and say you know it all, because you'd be a fool to say that. You're learning all the time. On my last video I took a tumble, I slipped, I stood on some ice, it was covered in snow, and before I knew it I was face planting a rock. So it happens, you know, to the best of us. You're constantly learning all the time. So I hope to see you in January at some point. I'll probably try and do a video probably once a month. My aim is to get to 500 subscribers. So if I can get to 500 subscribers, yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. I'm not going to be the next biggest YouTuber out there. There's far better YouTubers on YouTube already that have been doing it for years, that have got a lot more equipment than I have, and a lot of them have give up the day jobs and gone doing it full time. For me, it's just about memories and passing a bit of information on, really, so I can look back at some of the videos in 5 years time, 10 years time, look back at this video and see what gear I use, that kind of thing. So hope to see you all in 2024. Sorry that I'm not in the Lake District, but hopefully next time you see me I will be. Bye for now guys, all the best. Cheers now, thanks a lot. you.